He only wanted to buy a simple gift, nothing more. But the second he stepped into that small-town store, the owner didn't see a customer. He only saw the color of his skin. What followed wasn't just an insult. It was a public humiliation so cruel the entire room froze in disbelief. Yet what the owner didn't know was that this man wasn't just anyone. He was a billionaire, and the way the tables turned that day left the whole town stunned. So how does a quiet shopping trip explode into a moment the world would never forget? Marcus Williams was no ordinary man. Raised in a working-class neighborhood, he fought his way to the top through discipline, intelligence, and unshakable determination. Now, in his 40s, he was a self-made billionaire, humble, generous, known for pouring millions into communities others had abandoned. But on this day, Marcus wasn't stepping into boardrooms or private jets. He was in a small town on business, looking for a thoughtful gift before his next meeting. To him, it was nothing more than a stop at a corner store. To the people watching, though, his presence was anything but ordinary. They didn't know who he was. They only saw a black man walk through the door, and what awaited him inside would shatter the calm of that quiet afternoon. The bell above the door jingled. Instead of a warm greeting, Marcus was met with narrowed eyes. The store owner, a stiff, middle-aged man, barely glanced up before muttering under his breath. A few shoppers looked over, curiosity flickering. Marcus ignored it. Suspicion had followed him like a shadow his whole life. He picked up a finely crafted leather wallet. Simple, elegant, the perfect gift. But when he carried it to the counter, the air thickened. The owner's face hardened. "Put that back," he snapped. His voice cut through the silence like a blade. Marcus blinked, unsure he'd heard correctly. But the man stepped forward, arms crossed, voice louder now. "We don't serve your kind here." The words hit like stones. A mother with her child froze near the door. A young man lowered his eyes. The room held its breath. Marcus set the wallet down slowly. Calm on the outside, burning on the inside. He could have left. He could have swallowed the insult like so many times before. But this wasn't just another slight. This was an attack on his very humanity. The silence grew unbearable. Someone whispered, "That's not right." But no one dared to intervene. The owner sneered, louder now. I said, "Leave. People like you don't belong here. Take your dirty money somewhere else." Dirty money. The irony almost made Marcus laugh. He was worth more than this entire store, more than the block it stood on. Yet here, in this man's eyes, he was nothing but his skin color. He inhaled deeply, steady, deliberate. Every move mattered. The owner smirked, mistaking calm for weakness. That's what I thought. "You people never fight back." The venom of those words echoed through the store. And still Marcus stood tall, silent. The crowd leaned in, sensing something was about to happen, something unforgettable. The silence cracked when Marcus slowly reached into his jacket pocket. Shoppers gasped. The owner stiffened, his smirk faltering. Fear flickered across his face, but Marcus didn't pull out anger. He didn't pull out violence. He pulled out a sleek black credit card, the kind only a handful of people in the world ever held. He set it down on the counter, the metal gleaming under fluorescent lights. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone whispered, "Do you even know who you're talking to?" Recognition spread across faces. The owner's arrogance melted into dread. This wasn't just any man. This was Marcus Williams, the billionaire philanthropist whose name filled newspapers, awards, and community centers across the country. The same man who had donated millions to towns just like this one. Phones were out now, recording every second. The humiliation meant for Marcus had ricocheted back onto the owner, magnified, undeniable. Marcus finally spoke, his voice calm but razor-sharp. "I came here to support a local business. But instead, I was reminded that no amount of success, no amount of giving back can shield me from the ugliness of hate." The words struck harder than a shout. The owner's face drained of color. His cruelty exposed, forever etched into every phone camera. Marcus didn't need to raise his voice. He didn't need to stay another second. He picked up his card, turned, and walked toward the door. The silence was crushing. The once bold owner stood small, powerless, destroyed by his own prejudice. And then, one voice broke the silence. "Thank you." For not staying silent, a young woman whispered it through tears, phone still in hand. Others nodded, ashamed, not at Marcus, but at themselves, for standing by too long. Outside, the story spread like wildfire. Within hours, the video went viral. Millions watched as a black billionaire was degraded in a corner store. Proof that no amount of money, no level of success could erase the scars of racism. For Marcus, the sting was familiar. But for the world watching, it was a wake-up call. A reminder that injustice doesn't end when someone makes it. It lingers. It stains even the simplest moments, like buying a gift. So the question remains, how many more Marcus Williams must endure humiliation before we decide enough is enough? How many more quiet afternoons must turn into battles for dignity before change stops being a promise and becomes reality? This wasn't just a story about a billionaire in a store. This was a story about us, about what we allow, what we ignore, and what we choose to fight against. So the real question is, what will you do the next time you see it?